While waiting for Borderlands 4, here are the top games that capture similar gameplay elements. First up, we have Far Cry 5. Over the years, FPS games have started adding more RPG elements, and Far Cry 5 is a great example. It drops you into an open world where you level up, explore, and cause chaos. While it doesn't have a deep loot system like Borderlands, it has plenty of action and a co-op mode for teaming up with friends. If you want a more tropical setting, Far Cry 6 lets you fight against a brutal dictator on a fictional Caribbean island. Next is Destiny 2, Bungie's sci-fi shooter that's come a long way since launch. The gunplay is some of the best in the genre, which makes sense coming from the creators of Halo. It's free to start, so you can play for hours before deciding if you want to invest in expansions. Like Borderlands, Destiny 2 is all about collecting loot, teaming up with friends, and blasting enemies with crazy weapons. If you love co-op shooters with deep progression, this one's a great pick. If you like loot-based games but want something with a bit more challenge, Remnant 2 is worth checking out. It mixes shooter gameplay with Souls-like difficulty, but unlike most games in that genre, it focuses more on guns than melee combat. It has a ton of customization, different character classes, and a cool mix of worlds to explore. While it's designed for co-op, you can totally play solo too. It's darker and more challenging than Borderlands, but the loot and teamwork make it a solid alternative. If sci-fi and high-speed action are more your thing, then Warframe is an amazing option. This free-to-play game is packed with content, and the best part? It lets you squad up with 3 friends to take on massive missions. Unlike Borderlands, where you're constantly picking up new guns, Warframe focuses more on crafting. Instead of looting weapons, you unlock new Warframes, each with its own abilities and playstyle. The customization is crazy deep, and since the game gets frequent updates, there's always something new to explore. Want something that feels like Borderlands but with less shooting? Tales from the Borderlands is a story-driven adventure set in the same world, made by Telltale Games. It follows Reese, a wannabe Hyperion big shot, as he gets caught up in the usual Borderlands chaos. Instead of gunfights, the game focuses on choices and storytelling. It's packed with humor, zany characters, and all the charm of the main series, just in a different format. Next on the list is Outriders, a game that feels like a mix of Borderlands and Gears of War. It's a co-op shooter with fast, aggressive combat where the only way to heal is by dealing damage, so you're always encouraged to play aggressively. One of the biggest misconceptions about Outriders is that it's a live service game, but it's not. It has a full campaign, plenty of endgame content, and no constant grind. Without worrying about seasons or battle passes, you can jump in, blast through enemies with friends, and enjoy the journey. If you like Borderlands' fast-paced action and colorful style, Roboquest is worth a shot. It's a roguelite, meaning each run is different, but you still get permanent upgrades to make things easier over time. The weapons feel great, and the art style is bright and cartoonish, similar to Borderlands. While the loot system isn't as deep, the gameplay is fast, fun, and addictive. For those who like tactical co-op shooters, The Division 2 is a solid pick. It drops you into a ruined Washington, D.C., where you team up with other players to take down enemy factions and scavenge for loot. The game has a mix of PvE and PvP, so whether you want to play story missions with friends or risk it all in the dark zones for better gear, there's plenty to do. Now, if you just want something over the top, ridiculous, and pure fun, Bulletstorm is a must-play. It doesn't have co-op or looting, but what it does have is some of the most creative and satisfying combat in any shooter. You can kick enemies into spikes, use an energy leash to set up crazy trick shots, and pull off all kinds of ridiculous moves. It's packed with cheesy one-liners, explosive action, and an old-school shooter feel. Last but not least, we have Gunfire Reborn, a roguelike shooter that's perfect for co-op play. Every run is randomized, so no 2 playthroughs are exactly the same, and as you progress, you unlock crazy upgrades and powerful weapons. Some players find the gameplay loop a bit repetitive, but if you enjoy loot-based shooters and love the thrill of getting stronger each run, this one's a blast. And there you have it, 10 awesome games to play while we wait for Borderlands 4. Which one are you most excited to try? Let us know in the comments, and if you have any other recommendations, drop them below.